Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. And a video today from The Wall. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
You know, life really does come at you fast because 1 minute, my boyfriend's meeting my parents and spending a day with his grandparents. And the next day, we have like a mini communication breakdown and I don't hear from him. And it's been a week. And my birthday's in 2 days. So needless to say, I'm fighting for my life over a man.
Fighting your life over a man. What are you fighting? What life is in danger right now? Just stop making bullshit up.
Boy, and writing shit on Post-it notes like, you're worthy of love and you're not a worthless piece of garbage, and putting it on my bathroom mirror. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll explore how a woman tries to play the classic "let's take a break" card with her husband, only to find out that while she's waiting, he's already moved a female friend in to live with him. Additionally, we'll analyze a frustrated liberal feminist who finds herself attracted to traditionally masculine and conservative men, while she's unwilling to give up her single lifestyle or empowerment to build something real with them. Your support is super important to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what
I'm actually aiming for 100,000 by the end of the year. If you guys can help sub with me, I'd really appreciate it.
helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get started.
So everybody loves to talk about the dating horror stories, but can we talk about reporting these people on dating apps? So I've had a stalker for like 3 years, and anytime that I report them on the B app, I get a response from the app saying that like they have to see if other people report them before they take action. So let's contrast that with the Spicy app that I'm also on for dating.
Spicy.
I recently ended things with a partner that was linked with me there. And I reported the behavior that ended our relationship. Not only was that offline.
Wait, what? You guys were in a relationship, and then he did something in the relationship, and then you reported him on the dating app.
And behavior concerning to them, but they said they would take action immediately and expressed empathy and concern. That's a huge difference in reaction. The B app is not where it's at.
In short, she's upset because she doesn't have absolute control over the app. The first guy you want to report just because you don't like him and he bothers you. Remember, when the man isn't attractive, it's called harassment.
Yep.
The second one you reported for bad behavior after going out with you. Could it be that he left you and it bothered you that he moved on? You call that bad behavior. Many times, these reports don't come from an objective place, but rather from personal frustration or anger.
Yep.
And the problem is that platforms don't always have a way to verify the truth behind these stories. Dating apps are not a court of law, and using them to resolve emotional or personal issues is irresponsible.
As a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who's willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age. Who is not a conservative? A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide.
We have those wants and desires. You just might not meet the requirement to get those.
Was not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking?
It's called just stay alone. It's single with cats.
Can I have my cake and eat it too?
Yes, you are. Feminism is so much fun until it's time to be a feminist. There are a lot of contradictory declarations in her videos, so let's start at the beginning. Saying you want a traditionally masculine man who has the attributes of being a leader and a protector and a provider, who is gentlemanly and chivalrous, but you want him to be a liberal is a total paradox.
Yep.
Liberal men, not all of them, but a lot of them tend to go wherever the social and political winds will push them. So when the feminist movement came in and said, hey, you guys need to shed your masculinity and not be so assertive and start being more sensitive and don't be so ambitious and step aside and let women take the lead, they did exactly that.
Yep.
And they became more feminine. And now your biological instincts are kicking in and you're like, I'd kind of like to have a man who's a little more manly. As far as splitting the bill on the first date or subsequent dates, that's something that you're going to have to get used to, because men are waking up and realizing that women haven't had skin in the dating game, and that's why they haven't been taking it seriously.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, they've never had skin in the game. They've never had to put resources into the game other than their own time.
Think about it, ladies. One of the expectations of a traditional man is to be a provider, to provide you with things, which involves paying for things. So if you expect a man to pay for you on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth date, which one of your traditional roles are you fulfilling in return? Are you going to commit to him and be faithful to him from that point forward? Of course not. You've got a roster of dudes and you can go out with a different guy every night of the week if you wanted to. So why should he be expected to fulfill one of his traditional roles if the same isn't expected of you? Splitting the cost of dates ensures that the woman is at least to some extent invested in the dating process and is therefore a little more likely to take it seriously. Lastly, what does it mean to be an independent woman? Because I heard this woman say, I want to maintain my independence and autonomy, but I also want a man to come in and take care of me, provide for me, and protect me. But I also don't want to take on the traditional feminine roles of being a homemaker and bearing children. So what are you bringing to the relationship? What it means is that women like this want the benefits of a relationship, but none of the responsibilities.
Yep.
They want a traditional man, but don't want to be beholden to the expectations of faithfulness, supportiveness, submissiveness, and respect.
Oh, hell no!
Who's that Pokemon?
She wants a traditional man when she herself isn't traditional. This is the type of woman who wants a beta provider to give her everything while she contributes nothing more than intimacy. She wants her freedom. In other words, to act like she's single while in a relationship. The problem is that these men have their feet firmly on the ground. If you expect him to pay,
I don't even think liberal men are all up into this anymore either. They don't even want to deal with you. If you don't even want to go 50-50 with most liberal men, do you really think conservative men would be willing to pay for everything for you when you act this way?
Care for and protect you, then he will expect loyalty, support, and mutual respect in return. Everything she seems to avoid. The issue is that women like this want all the benefits of traditional men without taking on the responsibilities of a relationship. The irony is that she criticizes liberal men for not being masculine enough while rejecting conservative men for not aligning with her values. A typical example of a woman who doesn't know what she wants.
My husband, 28 male, is living with the female friend, and she, 22 female, has become hostile towards me. My husband and I have been married for 3 years, and our marriage is on the rocks. It all mainly started after the birth of our first child together, in which he became increasingly irritable, aggressive, and sexually distant from me. Once he...
Are you sure? Are you sure you just, after you gave birth, you didn't want to give the man sex anymore, so he became sexually frustrated and miserable, so he had to figure it out?
Started to get physically abusive by grabbing and pushing me. We decided to live at different residences in a desperate attempt to salvage our marriage. That was 3 months ago. I'm currently living with my mom, and I work part-time while also taking care of our 18-month-old son with the help of her. My husband purchased a new condo with the financial help of his dad and lives with a female friend of his, 22 female, who he apparently charges rent. Is it rent as in money or rent as in clapping cheeks? Because you can pay a debt a whole lot of fucking ways. I was uncomfortable about his living arrangement with this woman from the moment I heard about it. Mainly because we agreed that we are not taking a break in the sense of seeing others. We're still married and are not going through a separation, but we're just trying to give each other, mainly him, space.
Is it really mainly him? Like, the women just love the word to play these word games and these little stories that they're the ones that are sacrificing everything for the man, trying to help the man out and all these things. Really? That's what happened?
No. I mean, y'all can tell yourselves that all you want, but no, because this man has bought a whole new condo with the help of his father and is living with an entirely different woman that is not the mother of his child, his wife, while you are living with your mother. He wasn't worried about where you guys are going to stay, whether you guys were financially stable. This man is getting ready to move on with his life. He is moving on with his life. You're preparing for divorce. You are. Like, denial is a river in Egypt, baby. You guys are preparing for divorce. Like,
Pretty much.
If you play silly games, don't get upset about the outcome. As a man, if I live with you, you're the mother of my children, and you pack your things and leave, you're making it clear that you're leaving me. I won't say this man is blameless, because
I
he's
can agree
not,
with this.
especially if there's physical abuse, which I find unacceptable. But this marriage is broken. He's clear.
I mean, if there is truly physical abuse, but all women seem to claim this physical abuse, pushed her and grabbed her. Really? That's the physical abuse that you're talking about? Because they're grasping at straws. Because they can't say anything because there's no true physical abuse other than pushing and grabbing. Really?
Clearly moving on with his life. By stepping out of that house, you made your intentions clear. Since he didn't reach out to have you live with him in his new home, and if that wasn't enough of a sign, the detail of the tenant living with him confirms it. That rent likely isn't being paid with money alone, and you know it. Men quietly discard. If he's not prioritizing rebuilding his relationship with you or defending your place as the mother of his child, then the message is clear. He's paving the way for a divorce.
girl, she's become very hostile towards me, which is strange because she's supposedly only his friend and basically a tenant of his. For example, I went to visit him with our son, and the whole time she was sitting near him, staring at me with hatred. Girl, if you don't take the fucking blinders off and stop pretending like you do not understand what's going on,
Right?
because if I take my son to go see his daddy, what is this bitch sitting here for? You're dismissed. If we need some drinks or some snacks, we'll call you. Thank you for your time. Like, why? I didn't come to see you. What are you doing here? Goodbye. When I asked if he and I could talk privately, she said, no, this is our place. And of course, this made everything awkward, so I just left shortly after that. Why are you pretending that you don't know what's going on? And the fact that this motherfucker didn't say nothing to her for saying something to you. Like, come on, man. That is his girlfriend. And she wants to make sure you understand that you're not welcome there. And yo, dumbass, I just don't understand why she's so hostile towards me. Because you have the one thing that she wants. One, his son. Two, his last name. Of course she's going to be hostile towards you. You have what she... Come on, man. Girl, I'm going to start charging you motherfuckers for my advice, because the way I would be a millionaire over fucking night. Stop pretending like you don't know what's going on. Open your eyes, baby girl. I don't know why she would act so hostile towards me if she was just a friend or tenant of his. My husband didn't seem bothered by her rudeness towards me either. At one point, I thought I saw him smirk. I don't know if I should be concerned that he and her have become more than friends, especially since my husband told me through text that him and I are still exclusive to each other. Girl, what is the best way to continue with this awkward situation? End it.
Yep.
That's the best way to continue on with this awkward situation. End it. I really wish that I knew you in person so I can invite you over and yell at you in your face. And yell at you until I make you cry, until you understand that.
This is how men feel. I actually do this. I don't yell at women, but I talk to women and then make them cry because I just tell them the truth.
Your husband is doing this shit on purpose. I thought I saw him smirk. Bitch, you saw him smirk. Your husband is evil. He's doing this to hurt you on purpose. Instead of just ending the marriage.
I can somewhat agree that he's doing this on purpose for sure, yeah.
He wants to string you along. You and I are together. Don't worry about any of that. But I'm also not going to defend you when some bitch gets disrespectful towards you. Come on, man. Like, you deserve so much better. I need you to open your eyes and look the hell around and see things for what the fuck they are and not what you want them to be.
This is, again, women have blinders for the men they want. And then every other man... They're just creeps.
It's funny because it's true.
I have to agree with this woman. He's making a fool out of her, or she's willingly ignoring the situation. This shows that when a woman is in love, even when she knows she's being deceived, she tries to convince herself it's not happening. This man, in my opinion, is in the wrong. She's
I
the
can agree
mother
with
of his
this.
children, and they're married. But you left him, even if in your mind it doesn't feel that way. It is that way. The moment you stopped living with him, you left him. Now he's watching two women compete for his attention, and of course, he enjoys it. The hostile behavior of this woman, who you claim is just a friend, is anything but subtle.
It's pretty
If she's
obvious.
sitting there glaring at you with disdain, it's because she feels like she's in competition with you, even if you want to ignore it. That's not a sign of respect or interest in fixing things with you. He's already setting up his new dynamic and making it clear, even if indirectly, where you stand. Stop looking for explanations.
See, this is the man that most women seem to think that are the ones that are divorcing and why women are divorcing men. They're this particular type of man, which there are, but these aren't the men that represent most men. Most men will love you dearly.
When you already have the answers.
You know what I wish more people knew? That the 1950s housewife, like June Cleaver, a lot of people think is traditional values. That was not tradition. That was an organized PR campaign to get women to stay in the kitchen. When men came back from World War II, women were forced to leave the workforce. Ad agencies and pop culture really glamorized the housewife. Domesticity is so cute. And women were continually sold more products and lifestyles that really emphasized their place. And then the post-war economy really boomed, and so did the suburbs. Middle-class families started to move into single-family homes, and men became the breadwinners. Then pop psychologists.
Do you realize men have been breadwinners throughout all of human existence, right? This is not a uncommon thing.
Started to talk about, women are the caretakers and the nurturers, and it's tied to our biology. So either she's going to be really good at taking care of the home and your children, or it is her personal failing. And then even educational institutions started to promote degrees in homemaking, if women got higher degrees at all. And this is all to prepare women for marriage instead of the workforce. You can even see that publications like women's magazines went from writing about adventure stories to romance tales where women just find their knight in shining armor.
You do realize it is written for its own demographic, and that's what women enjoyed reading.
So we're supposed to go back to traditional values. This was never a tradition in the first place.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
In summary, she's arguing that the traditional gender model isn't innate but fabricated, rejecting the idea that we should return to those values. Here we see a single woman trying to convince others to end up like her.
Yep.
Because misery loves company. But let me remind you of something. The model of the man as provider and the woman as caregiver didn't emerge because someone dreamed it up in a marketing meeting. It arose because it was functional for its time. While men were rebuilding the economy after the war, women focused on creating stable homes in a world recovering from global chaos. Yes, magazines promoted that narrative, but do you know why? Because it worked. Families had clear structures, and the economic stability of the era allowed it. Today, a married woman who can afford to stay home and care for her children is living a luxury.
Yep.
Given the current economy, very few families can make that work. Do you know how many women today barely have time to see their children because they have to work? They look more tired and aged from the stress, while many stay-at-home moms care for their homes, their kids, get enough sleep, and often even have time to go to the gym, especially once the kids are in school. For many men, the role of provider wasn't an imposition, but a way to protect and care for their families. But a woman on the wall doesn't understand that, because the wall doesn't forgive.
Women trying to explain away why biology and men and women have their own special gender roles is so weird to me. Do you not realize modern convenience wasn't here all the time? There's a reason why things were this way and was this way for such a long time. Until there was AC and roads and all this extra junk that you can finally work the same way you worked like us. Duh. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time.